Changing Perspective was designed to increase active participation of African and Caribbean people living in the northeast of England in an arts project and in a fun way that will also inspire young people. The bicentenary celebration of the abolition of slavery also provided a challenge and raised a big question, which was what the African and Caribbean community stand to gain from this commemoration. The project led to the creation of a multimedia archival resource based on their collective consciousness. It was delivered through a series of workshops that aimed to inspire and impart life skills to the community. Research suggested we needed to promote the idea to local families. We wanted a project that was interfaith, intergenerational, and truly Pan-African that would be interesting and engage the entire family. But how will we find 4 families each from North, East, South, West, and Central Africa, and 5 from the Caribbean, who have lived in the region for more than 10 years and sustained their participation in a year-long project? Well, that is exactly what we did. The project was introduced to the community through taster events held at Durham, Gateshead, and Sunderland. Through a partnership with the Archives Outreach at Durham University, we ran drumming and dance workshops for students from the local community. Their response was truly exciting, getting involved in the dancing and drumming workshops. And later, getting involved in lying out as slaves on a huge plan of a ship that represented the cramped way in which slaves were carried in ships sailing from Africa to the Caribbean. In Sunderland, we had breakdancing, African hair braiding, and beauty therapy, recipes and foods from Africa, and drumming and dancing workshops. This drew quite a large participation as we started out on the streets to bring people in. There were about equal numbers from both the African and local white community. Gateshead was an opportunity to engage mainly African children and their parents at the summer school and promote the project. From Durham University Archives and Special Collections, a relationship had developed that made it possible to have a life-size plan of a slave ship for our next event, Creative Writing Workshop. One of the objectives of the workshop was to have a reflection on slavery by the participants. Dr. Jack Mapanje, a senior lecturer in creative writing at Newcastle University, and Kachi Ozumba, a PhD student in creative writing, led the workshop, while Dr. Sarah Price, an historian from Durham University, led workshops on the materials held at the archive. Working on the slave ship was indeed a surreal and memorable event for everyone. The exercise of lying on the plan of the slave ship was very emotional for the children, who couldn't imagine people went through such brutality, and for the parents who were asked to imagine their sons and daughters being taken away. The workshops have resulted in an anthology of sound and vision, where local writers have also had their poetry published. Newcastle University School of English was the venue for the photographic workshop, where Tony Griffiths and Zoe Corder taught the rudiments of digital photography. We had 5 families each weekend for 5 consecutive weeks, and both young and elderly members of the community got involved. The most exciting part was going out around Newcastle to practice what they had been taught. The session ended with learning how to do portraiture and manipulate photographs on the computer using appropriate software. This exciting workshop is being presented as a photographic exhibition and as a slideshow. The Northeast of England African Community Association NEACA building at Benfield was the venue for digital storytelling workshop led by Julie Balland and Peter Kayode Adigbie. This was over 5 weekends. The story circle was hilarious as participants recounted various experiences of living in the region, although starting on a Friday night meant people were tired, but people bonded quickly and it soon became fun.
Screaming because obviously they've never been in darkness before. So, okay, giddy, the houseboys, everybody was running. They went and the light.
Writing time was difficult at times, but we got through it and enthusiasm really began to mount when we started recording voices and looking for old photographs to tell the story. It was most fascinating in terms of the variety of stories generated at the story circle.
Over 1 hour they were screaming, honestly.
The hands-on training to edit and make the digital story was more challenging for some of the parents and grandparents, but the younger ones knew they could teach us a thing or two. Many young people got a lot out of hearing the experiences of the older generation. It was a time of great learning for everyone, as we all were privileged to hear our various diaspora experiences. The whole project brought together Africans and Caribbean people of all ages and of different faiths to share a common art experience. We have over 10 months succeeded in creating a multimedia archival collection that consists of audio and video recordings of oral testimony from 25 families in the northeast of England. We have produced an anthology of their poetry and prose. We have produced a slideshow, an exhibition of photographs that will become a touring exhibition around the region and possibly the country. We have a collection of digital stories made by participants reflecting on an incident in their life, and a short documentary film of what has been a very enjoyable process. Changing Perspective 3 will explore cultural diversity through the experiences of individuals who have lived in the region and decided to go back to their home countries. Conducted through interviews and other workshops, we will review and compare their outlook with those who decided to stay living in the Northeast. And our main objective will be to explore the concept of home and how we can make the Northeast a more welcoming place to live for all immigrants. We now call this place home.